Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to KHM Today, your weekly resource for industry news and straight up fun. I am your host, Carolyn Orff, and today is October 30th, 2024, and it is our not so spooky Halloween special. Can you see what I'm dressed as today? Yes, Wonder Woman. This is a new one for me. I've never dressed as a superhero before. So I hope you guys are all enjoying this week. It's always fun with the kids and the parties and the trick-or-treating. And I'm off after the show. I'm off to the grocery store to get some candy because I have not done that yet. Before we get started with our incredible guest today, please let me know you're here by posting in the chat. We'd love to know that you're on and maybe share what you're going to be for Halloween tomorrow. But I want to tell you guys, I spent last weekend in New York City. My family is originally from there, so it's not unusual for us to spend time in the city. But it's been a while since I was there. And I have to tell you, if you haven't been to New York City in a while, or you've never been, put it on your list. And not just because of the tourist stuff to do, right? The Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, the World Trade Center, and the memorial. All of that is amazing. But I want to encourage you to check out the neighborhoods. Instead of staying in Times Square, stay in a small neighborhood, stay in the West Village or Chelsea. I stayed in Chelsea this time, and it was so fun because you kind of have that local feel. You have neighborhood places. I got to know the guy down the street at the bagel shop. Like it just, it has a different feel to it. We headed over to Brooklyn for a day. So if you haven't been there in a while, and I'm going to tell you, it is so clean, so clean. I felt very safe the whole time. And one of the most amazing things they've done is if you're walking along the Hudson River, there is the Chelsea Pier all the way down to Battery Park. You can walk for miles and miles and miles. And there was just so much to do. There was a beach. There was like golf right off the pier. They had nets to catch the balls. You don't want the balls in the water. There was a place where people were doing yoga. There was a skate park. It was really incredible. So if you haven't been to New York City in a while, go. You will love it. But I encourage you to get out of the tourist areas and kind of see some of the unique, funky neighborhoods. So it was so, so fun. So for those of you who are online, hello, everyone. Happy Halloween. I got a couple questions for you, and we're going to ask these of our guest as well when she comes on. At what age should trick-or-treating stop? Any age? What's your favorite candy to pass out? And have you ever been that person that gives raisins, pretzels, or something else? We're going to ask those very pressing questions to our first guest today. Please welcome Erin Douglas, Vice President of Field Sales for MSC Cruises. Welcome, Cowgirl.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Carolyn. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
Okay, so before we get into the real nitty-gritty of MSC and everything, what do you have an age where you believe those should stop trick-or-treating?
I don't think people should stop. I think if you get to the point that people are giving you a funny look, you just have to find a family member, a friend that's younger, and take them along so that you get to keep trick-or-treating. That's what I would do.
I'm a big fan of as long as you're willing to put in the effort for a costume, you can keep trick-or-treating. But when you show up in your everyday clothes with a pillowcase, that's where I draw the line.
Doesn't count.
Do you have a favorite candy to hand out?
I have two. So I always buy Reese's peanut butter cups. And I usually buy some sort of a gummy candy, like a licorice or gummy bears or Sour Patch, because if there's leftovers, those are the two that I like to eat.
See, and that's exactly why I don't buy those. I buy like the Almond Joy and the Mounds because I don't like them. But don't you dare put a Twix or 100 grand or anything gummy in front of me. Oh, they're my favorite, and I will eat the entire bowl. So I go the opposite direction, and anything that I won't eat is what I'm actually going to purchase.
You're smart.
Have you ever given like the gross stuff, like, the dental floss, the raisins, the pretzels, anything that's like, gets you shunned from the Halloween walk?
No, I've never been that bad. I think one year I got caught where, like you, I had planned to go to the store and I didn't. And so I don't know if they do it anymore, but years ago they used to collect money for charities in a little
Uh-huh.
box. So I had my jar of, yeah. And I wasn't very popular. I never did that again.
Yep. It's kind of like those, at least in my neighborhood, the houses that give the full size,
Yeah.
and the houses that give the raisins and the pretzels.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Okay, so let's dig into kind of who you are, because you've been in the industry for a while. So can you give a little bit of your background and how you ended up at MSC?
Yeah, sure. So, oh gosh, I don't even know if I can count back how many years, but we'll say a while is good. So, I actually started my career in travel on the retail side. So, I started as a travel agent, a frontline agent, and I worked in Canada for many years. I'm originally from Toronto, not that far from Cleveland. We used to do weekend trips there all the time.
Mhm.
And I transferred over to the supplier side. I was running an online cruise agency in Canada, and Carnival was my number one partner, and they had asked me to join them. So I joined them back in 2008, and I started as a BDM in Canada, worked for them internationally, and then joined their national accounts in 2013. And I was there until November of 2022 when I made a very difficult decision to come over and join MSC. And I've been here, and it's just been a fabulous ride for the last 2 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. Change is always exciting, nerve-wracking at the same time, but I feel like you've picked a company that is really just exploding. I don't know that there's another word for it, because the growth that I'm seeing, just even when I look at the headlines, the travel headlines, there's always something with MSC in it. So, right now you are VP of Field Sales. So how has your prior experience helped you in this role?
Yeah, well, actually, I switched. I'm actually VP of Strategic Accounts now.
There we
So,
go. The internet
yeah,
has
we
not
don't keep
updated
hopping
you
around,
yet.
right? Um, one of the things that helped me the most was my experience on the retail side,
Yeah.
because I feel like I really truly understand not just what the agents need to be successful, but the business owners. And I worked in several retail models before I came over to the supplier side. So I have a very good understanding of what is required to be successful. And I think it's
Mhm.
probably one of the best assets I bring to my partners is that I understand what they need, and we work very quickly to get their needs met so that they can sell lots of cruises.
And I think that's sometimes a bullet point in people's resume that's missing in this industry, is when you don't have that one-on-one experience with using booking engines, with talking with clients, with understanding their needs. Sometimes that's a
Yeah,
void.
I think I lost you.
Oh, Sam, are we here? Are we there? Can you see me?
I can hear
There
you
we
now.
go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind of like, I always call it that dark horse, that person, that skill set that you bring to the table that is rare. And when you understand the agent side of it, that is invaluable.
it is. And even having worked in a business, like if a lot of your independent agents, you run your own business, having been in the seat where everything you produce drives your business. Like I've been in the seat where whatever we sold, we had to make the rent, or we had to pay the paychecks, or we have to. So you understand the meaning of, every booking counts.
Mhm.
Whenever you hear that, it truly matters. So every booking to us matters for you. So if there's a way that we can help you get that booking closed, close the sale, or get more bookings, it's just as important to us as it is to you.
Mhm. So more and more we're finding are just loving the cruise experience. So how has this just explosion on the consumer side for the love of cruising kind of worked to MSC's favor and their mindset moving forward?
Sometimes timing is everything. We're at such an ideal time right now. Cruise value has never been, at a better high. Right now, cruise value is so high, and hotel value is not so high. So for us coming into that market and doing a huge expansion, the timing is just ideal for us. We're capturing a new audience. We're seeing a lot of younger cruisers that are coming. We have a phenomenal offering because of all of our global offerings. So we're touching so many different, demographics. We're just really like the time is right. And, I don't want to jump ahead, Carolyn, but it's hard not to talk about it. We have so many things that just keep coming, like as we are at, in 2025, we'll have 4 home ports in the US. Our newest one, Galveston, Texas, year round next year. And then in 2026, we saw our newest announcement. We have another one coming for 2026 for Seattle. So we'll have 5 for 2026.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just the timing is just right.
So when you think about, there's a lot of brand loyalty in the cruise industry when it comes to our customers. Who do you feel is giving you guys a try at this point?
That's a great question because we are a challenger brand, and it's so funny. It really depends. I think there's more than one bucket, to be honest with you. We get a lot of people coming to us that are new to cruise because they see our consumer marketing. They're not as familiar with traditional cruise, so they don't have any preconceived notions of what a cruise is. And the marketing is just very appealing and they like it, and that I would love to try this product. And then we do have people that come to us that are cruisers from other lines, or maybe, we have a comparable price or a similar itinerary and they try it. And depending on the line, they might be really in favor of us, or we might not match their needs. So I'll give you an example. We've had in the past people that have come to us from the cruise line that I came from previously, Carnival. And Carnival has a really loyal guest, and they have very particular things that they like about Carnival. And our offerings are maybe a little not as traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So they might expect that and say, okay, this isn't what I was expecting. And then other people might come with expecting that more traditional and see the wide array of offerings and go, wow, this is a lot more than I thought it was. So we kind of get a few different buckets coming to us.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to describe MSC to someone as an agent, and we're trying to share the options, and you had to describe MSC, what words would you use?
So we offer a little bit of European elegance and American comfort. That's kind of the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you from, taking my MSC hat off, and the very first time I stepped on a ship was when I very first started with the company. And, like many people that haven't sold it before, I wasn't sure what to expect. I'd only heard things. And so I remember when I walked on the ship, and the very first thing that struck to me was, wow, the hardware is absolutely beautiful. And it was. And it was almost a little bit, I guess I'll use the word cosmopolitan. The beautiful crystal staircases. There was a mixed crowd. It didn't really dominate one way, but enough to make me a little bit curious. I saw people walk on, and by their fashion, I knew they might not be from the US, the colorful running shoes. Then I heard them talking. I'm like, maybe Brazil. Then I would see people walk on, and I knew right away, like, oh, they're American. So there was like a little bit of a mix of everything, and everything was there that I expected on cruise, but there was a few little nuances that kept me stimulated because they were different.
Mm-hmm.
Like our coffee bars, we do a little bit different. Our champagne bars, we do a little bit different. And when I say a little bit different, like on a 7-day, we serve raw oysters, like things that I had not seen on a cruise before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like nice little nuances that put like a fresh touch to the cruise experience.
One that's that little bit of that European flair without leaving the US.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's awesome. Okay, so heading into the holiday season and even over Halloween, is there anything that guests can expect to see or do as we move into this really busy season, whether it's Halloween or Thanksgiving or the winter holidays?
Yeah, we recognize all holidays, and we do so in quite a fun way. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with our kids club. I'll start there because it's Halloween, but we have an amazing kids club, highly rated. It's called Do Re Mi Land, and the activities there are phenomenal. And so for Halloween, there's so many activities. I don't know that we'll be able to do them all, but they have Halloween parties. There's trick or treating. Of course, there's contests. painting, like you name it, they've got it. And we do things for absolutely every holiday. And for the kids at heart, like us, there's things for us as well. So yes, very festive. We always recognize every major event, and we have parties that are kind of staples that happen every week, regardless of the event too. I think our white party is most famous. Everyone loves it. I have a hard time staying awake for it, but I see all the pictures. People love it. And then Carolyn, I know you said you haven't sailed with us yet, which we're going to fix, but we have an amazing party on our Ocean Key Marine Reserve. So if you've never been there, but you've seen pictures of it, there's this beautiful lighthouse. And on the late night stays, they do a light show. We do a party on the beach. There's bonfires. That's one of my favorite events that we do on the ship too. It's a little bit unique and different for a private island.
I have heard nothing but amazing things about that private island. That's sort of the thing that comes up first when I'm talking to other agents about MSC. That's the very first thing they say is Ocean Key.
Yeah, I mean, most cruise lines have private islands and they're all beautiful. I've been to all of them, they're all beautiful. But what's unique about Ocean Key is there's a lot of space. So at any point you can find privacy, social, like there's just something for everybody. There's 7 beaches. What's so unique is our late night stays and our overnight stays. Some sailings actually have an overnight stay, which is incredible. And first time cruisers love it. Like if you have someone who's like, I'm not sure if I want to cruise, they usually do a land vacation. It kind of gives you that mix of a cruise and a land vacation in one. And it's an amazing experience. You just walk off the ship and you're on the island and you can party that night. And then you go on the ship the next morning, you can get off and everything's there, a coffee bar, you can do a 5K run, paddle boarding. It really feels like a private island.
Right. I want to touch on, I know we were talking holidays, but Nancy's on. Hi, Nancy. She's one of the 3 blondes. That's her agency. We love them. She's sailing in the yacht club, which is another feature that we're constantly hearing about. Can you just share a little bit about that and why it's an amazing experience?
So it's going to be hard to share a little because it is a pretty amazing experience. It's absolutely phenomenal. So our yacht club, as you know, is our ship within a ship experience, 24/7 butler service. I don't know, Nancy, if this is your first sailing, but you are absolutely going to love it. From the moment you get on, it's like a home away from home. I did my first full yacht club sailing in January. Like I'd been for night and on inaugurals, but I did my first full yacht club sailing in January of this year. And could not wait to go back. My husband had said to me, he's in the industry as well, and we travel a lot. He goes, this is the most relaxed I've been on a vacation in 10 years because you're literally catered to, but it's very comfortable. You're always made to feel very comfortable. Like the environment is never crowded. You're always waited on. People get to know you right away. The dining room every night is a different menu. Actually, every meal is a different menu. We had booked all the specialty restaurants throughout our cruise, and our waiter and the wait staff in the dining room in the yacht club were so amazing. We never left. And the last night, so funny. I think, like it's always the staff that makes it for you. On the last night, everyone was pulling out their phones and they were saying to their waiters, so it wasn't just ours, okay, I can come back in July. What ship will you be on? And, it just made me feel like so incredibly special. It's an amazing experience. You're going to love it. And, I know it's not just me because whenever we have people sail in the yacht club, it's our highest repeat. Like we get loyalists and they come back over and over again. And one of the things I love is on our short cruises, we have 3 and 4 nights out of Port Canaveral. And it makes a really nice executive holiday because sometimes people are so busy they can't do a 7 or 10 day. So to get a nice 3 or 4 day on a higher level, a little bit of luxury and have that availability, it's just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading all of Nancy's comments here, and Nancy, I wish we had more time to talk about this, but I know that Erin has another meeting to get to, and she has to do a costume change. So I just have one more question for you, because what I think is so fabulous is MSC also has strong female leadership. So I just think this is exciting. Was it one of the reasons that you were good with making the shift? How does that work in your day-to-day? I'm always not fascinated by that, but I'm always really pleased when I see women in higher level positions.
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, it was very much a part of my decision. I had the pleasure of working with two of my leaders in previous roles, one at another cruise line and one as a client relationship.
Mm,
So when the opportunity came up, I didn't really have to think too hard about that.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a big deciding factor. And overall, you know, the culture there is just it's very supportive in so many ways. We're just very fortunate to be part of the MSC family.
that's awesome. Well, it was wonderful to have you on. I know you have another meeting, but thank you so much for your time today. It was wonderful to get to know you, and I look forward to seeing you at another event soon.
Thanks so much for having me. This is a lot more fun. I wish I could stay, but you guys have a great time and happy Halloween, everybody.
Thanks, Erin.
Bye bye.
All right, you guys. Yes, I mean the comments are amazing here. I like I said, I have yet to sail, but I'm looking forward to doing it hopefully soon. And Nancy, your a point about embarking on at a different port is something that's not always doable, and I think that's so great that that's an option with MSC. You guys, thank you for joining us today. I wanted to ask real quick: anyone dressing up? Come on, who's dressing up for Halloween? What are you going to be? Would love to know. One of the three blondes absolutely could be Marilyn Monroe. Um, Anyways, thank you so much to all of our sponsors and for their continued support of the show. Next week, you guys, we welcome Virgin Voyages, and we have a really fun discussion planned with myself, Sean Hayes, and Regina Dunbar Hendrickson. All three of us spent some time growing up overseas, and we are going to chat about how that experience has kind of framed our lives and our roles within the travel industry. So I hope you will join us next week for that super fun discussion. And have a great day, everyone. Be safe tomorrow night, and happy Halloween. Happy selling.